Hi, I'm Kevin. These are my working and failed fuel system components, but more, I guess importantly, is where we're at. I always say when I meet someone new that you can, within 5 miles, see everything that I do. My house, office, everything was within 5 miles. You guys get to see within 5 minutes. But this is kind of a more intimate place to me. It's where we do all of our research and design from Tier 1 automotive supplier ERPs, indoor positioning systems, PC repair, gaming machines, and designing parts. As we've hosted and been more of a cloud solution and data center for people, we have to be an expert in their software. And being in Detroit, it's medical is obviously big everywhere, but also manufacturing and engineering. With that, you have to get to know how the software works. And as a matter of fact, we even have a company further back down in the building, which goes way back, that is just CAD and R&D and design. So that's what leads us to here in these failed parts, and why we have a cut up McLaren fuel basket and a broken one, along with some of my failed and attempted to be rebuilt burnt parts. Ultimately, it boils down to CAD, hosting the files, keeping them safe, securing them, backing up, and then eventually putting them out here on this little 3D printer. This is, for all intents and purposes, a full vehicle. Fuel pump, 2 siphons, and then this would be acting as the fuel rail, or the electronic system that sets the fuel pressure. And then this would be like the engine consuming the fuel minus the fire and explosions. So what this allows you to do is see that the 12C actually has 2 of these surge tanks that sit in the bottom of the tank, and they siphon off the bottom from 4 different locations, 2 each. So here's our 1 siphon, 2 siphon, and we have the tank sitting up off of the mineral spirits. So that way you can see that the tank is actually only being fed off of the siphons alone, which was exactly how the OEM design was. It pulled a siphon off the bottom and a siphon off the side, and that's exactly why this was recreated this way. You could effectively race on an empty tank and still have your fuel pumps submerged in fluid, being cooled, and always water falling fluid or fuel outside of the top. Now this might look like Rob Dom's wiring harness, but what it actually is just a prototype of all the siphon valves and everything that's used to test it fully. Here's basically what happens is the output of the pump pressurizes these 2 lines, which basically spray like a pressure washer past a siphon, which creates a venturi or a vacuum, and it pulls the fluid up, and the waste sprayer combines with what it's vacuuming in and dumps into the basket, and that's done twice. So when we turn this on, you might hear something that sounds like a pressure washer or air purging. It's because I don't have a check valve on this, so these lines drain, have air, and then it has to aerate that first before it then empties all the air out of the siphons and fills everything with mineral spirit. 1. And we're gonna hit it. You'll see the flow come out of the wiggling tube, but you'll also see it water falling off the top. That's being completely siphoned and overflowing all by itself.
So that would simulate if the bottom of the tank was completely dry.
It's 70 psi. Yep. Should be 1,000 horse at 30 psi. And you can hear it just sucked one of the containers up, back one dry. Other siphon was pulling, it just emptied. And now you can see it's aerating because our siphons are empty. It's like running out of fuel. And you can hear the pump kind of cavitating. We can look at the flow. You can see it even kicking out air now. And there it is, it's dry. So if you really want your fountain of youth to fill up your gas cans, you actually can use this whole system to siphon off the bottom of your tank and be a gas pump. Going from about 20 psi back up to 70. Just fills fast. As your pressure drops, your volume or your flow increases on this setup. You have to keep enough pressure in the line to keep the siphons going. Like right now we're at 20 and it's still filling. Just like right at the same as it's draining. As I up the pressure about 40. They really kick up to their rated volume. I think all of them are rated at 40 or 44 psi. This is like running your reserve tank, and it's only like a 3-gallon reserve. We're about to probably lose our, there's our siphon deck, our pump dead, are done. The end.